Hey guys, we're back with our next episode of Sryth, our fantasy text-based RPG. Last time, we were doing the Proving Grounds 3. We're just saving people in town at Stonegate, I guess it was called. So we're going to keep on with that. Hey, but thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's go. First thing we want to do, obviously, it's a new day. So what I want to do is visit the old man and upgrade my castle. So let's go to Soft-Trouted Glen to the Goblin Claw Inn. And inside the inn is the old man. We don't read this because we've seen it. It says the same thing every time. There's still more to be going on tomorrow, unfortunately. I feel like I've done it enough times, but apparently not. So then we're going to travel to southeast to Tridmore, where my castle is, and we're going to purchase some improvements. What's the most expensive things? A whole of living statues. Pass. Oh, this one's 16. Hologram. Jose said nothing guards your grounds quite like a hologram. The massive guardians that originally appeared to the city of Todd and they found guardians at estates. Oh, okay. Sure. Like, what do I need all this money for? Nothing. Hidden Dragon Fountain sounds awesome. And then what else? Apple Orchard, yes. Okay, upgraded. Leave. Go back to say hi to Candles. Go back to Hawklaw. To the Proving Grounds, let's save. Let's see if there's any powers or something we can upgrade or train. Any skills. Nope. Alright. Proving Grounds it is. It's a second gate run. So this is way too bright, I think. Bring it down a notch. Thank you so much. That's better. Just seems very bright. That's not what I was trying to do. You know. It doesn't get any bigger, apparently. I wake up to the sound of music. Alright, let's get into it. Armed with your dependable light source and a keen desire to investigate this foul undead lair, you step into the shadowy interior of the cave. Right. Oh, there's a cave right off. The sound of unseen things moving in the dark reaches your ears as you cautiously explore the cave. To the north, fresh air blows in from the mouth of the cave. Go to the sound of music. The undead troll. Guess we're dealing with the undead around here. I just want to see if there's something like that. Dead end. There's not. 2 undead trolls this time. Okay, we're just hanging out with trolls, huh? Alright. Be it. So be it. Nothing up north. Don't skip over any ground. You're gonna love this guy, been so way back there, see. Oh, and the trolls. What's here? Nothing. What's in this corner? You always take a few minutes to catch your breath and check our equipment. It's a good practice to check your equipment. 300 this time. Yeah, rejuvenation. Nothing's going on. So nothing's going to be happening until we get to the end. You stumble upon a small object lying in the middle of the cave passage. As you draw closer to the item, you discover it's a perfectly smooth, round, dark stone, small enough to fit into the palm of your hand. You reach down and pick up the curious stone. While you stand examining your friend, you find you can aware that a figure standing in the shadows to your left. You quickly to your left, but the mysterious figure rapidly recedes into the gloom and is lost from sight. You quickly continue on your way. Someone has given me this shadow stone. The moment you step into the small chamber at the end of the passage, your eyes are drawn to a swirling black vortex that hovers against the north wall, a shadow path. A low pulsing sound issues from the heart of the Navernal gate. Instinctively, you step towards the portal, determined to effect its closing and deny the point of entry to the undead invasion that threatens Stonegate. As you approach the vortex, you catch sight of a bent, slight figure slinking through the shadows against the eastern wall. You call out to the figure, boldly demanding it reveal itself. An elderly man in blue robe hobbles out of the darkness and comes to stand just at the edge of the pool of light and sneezes in his response to your command. He draws back his hand, and small tides of lightning begin dancing across his finger. Notification. The rough thunder shakes the chambers. A long tide of lightning erupts from the old man's outstretched hand. The deadly bolt slams into your visible barrier and harmlessly defects to the floor. The road man sneers derisively and curses at you. "He is nameless," said the old man, his voice soft and chilling. "You're too late, hero." Standing in the direction of the shadow path draws your attention. You turn to witness the large shape emerging from the swirling vertex. You turn back to the old man and try to discover he's no longer there. The fearsome bellow from the far end of the chamber again causes you to turn and face the never-ending portal. A skeletal troll steps out from the swirling shadow path and charges towards you. The undead beast roars as it swipes at you with its deadly claws. Your blood runs cold as a deafening chorus of roars erupt from the shadow path. You know that unless you are able to close the portal, you will likely be overwhelmed by the foul undead about to pour through it and into this world. A skeletal troll emerges from the vortex and leaps at you, stone-hard claws raking the air only inches in front of your face. The troll collapses into a pile at your feet. Wasting time, you can be prepared to close your shadow path. Alright, we'll use the stone this time. You hold aloft the shadow stone and it instantly becomes icy. When you grip the heart of the shadow path, it ripples an instant of added effect by the power of the object you're now vying to close it. Several times the blue energy pour across the surface of the inky portal, but it remains open. You attempt to close the shadow path has failed. What? The blood from coals as deafening chorus of roars erupt from the shadow path. You know that unless you're able to close the portal, you will likely be overwhelmed by the foul undead and about to pour through and into this world. A skeletal troll emerges from the vortex and leaps at you, its stone hand claws raking the air only inches from your face. I'll use Katie this time. The heart of the shadow path ripples and sweat pours from your brows as you struggle to close the vortex with potent sudden power. The bright flash of blue light momentarily fills the chamber, and the heart of the shadow path begins to swirl with renewed fervor. Suddenly, at the sound, the vortex closes. The low pulsing sound fades to whisper and then gone entirely. The shadow path is no more. Another strike to the heart of the enemy. Issues the familiar voice of a young woman out of the shadows. You turn right to find the gaunt figure of the lurker, slipping back from the inner light into the deeper gloom of this chamber. She acknowledges you with a slow nod. Your victory is closer now, but the terror that plagues Stonegate does not sleep. She says, her voice growing more faint. "Then this one is upon you. Be very wary." The voice fades to a whisper and is suddenly replaced by a silence as the lurker disappears into the shadow. You quickly make your way out of the chamber, determined to return to Stonegate and once and report the success of your mission to Garwin. The return trip to town is most swift and uneventful, yet as you approach the town, your every step is haunted by parting words of the lurker. The nameless one is among you, and a voluntary shiver runs a length of your spine as you step into Stonegate's main thoroughfare and head off in the direction of Steadmore Inn. There you have it. Pause for the cause if you don't mind, you guys. have to upload something. So this mysterious lady keeps showing up. And some old man. Alright, so seeming dangerous. This guy's gonna be after me apparently. So let's pull up a chair. The moment you step in the common room of said more inn, you realise something is amiss. 5 hooded figures, all slightly smaller than man's size, sit at the table where Gawain and his companions were last seated. Pull up a chair, friend, says the larger the figure in a low rumbling tone as he turns towards you. You're shocked by the face that leers out at you from beneath the hood. The horrid rotting stare of a staring shade goblin peers out at you from beneath the hood. The other 4 figures turn and face you, revealing themselves to be undead members of the goblin race. Horror overcomes you, realize the undead goblin that addressed you as Blalak, the goblin chieftain you slew in the caves of Westwall. Blalak grins wickedly, exposing a mouthful of jagged, rotting, half-rotted teeth. He barks a sharp command to his undead kin, and they spring from their seats, each in drawing a rusty blade. My revenge has come, human, snarls Blalak, and his 4 goblin minions stalk across the room. Common room towards you. 4 champions should soften up your hide. The first of the 4 undead goblins rush at you, wielding his rusted blade with expert skill. The stench from the rotting corpse nearly overwhelms you as the creature draws within melee range. Yeah, I know. Just let's think. You step back past the remains of the 4 undead goblin champions, boldly face Blalak. The goblin chieftain rises unsteadily from his chair and draws a thick-hafted, stone-tipped wooden spear with his levels at you. You're in dead last. Or not. Blalak slumps to the floor and falls back, his rotting head striking the wooden planks with a sickening squish sound. A quick search of his remains discovered that his spear is a weapon of exceptional quality. You thoroughly search the inn, but discover no sign of Gawain or the others. A little lost of going, you decide to leave town and head back to the forest to seek out the fortified camp that Gawain had mentioned. You hope to find the camp still intact. You hope they can find Gawain, counted among those seeking refuge there. You leave the inn and make your way out of Stonegate. Seriously? Undead revenge. Alright, let's go. Capstone Gate. In the remote part of the forest north of town, you come upon the fortified encampment that has a host to Stonegate's evacuated citizens. The makeshift ensemble of tents and hastily constructed wooden shacks are surrounded by a thick field of sharpened pikes and concealed pits. Recruit measures are now all that really protects the camp inhabitants from the threat of the gathering undead. You want your way through the treacherous maze of defences and arrive at the guarded gate. The 2 men setting out before the gate look relieved to see you. They immediately usher you into the camp, directing you to the great tent where in resides Gawain. The protector of Stonegate is seated in the ground, poring over a series of maps with several other men. He looks up at you and steps to the tent and staggers to his feet, meeting you in a shoulder close. Your father still answers my prayers, he says jovially. It lightens my heart to know there is someone even those wretched undead must fear. I'm glad you knew to come, Ellison. There's neither time nor opportunity to leave you word in the town or of our hasty departure. You no doubt bear news of victory. You relate to Gawain and the others the details surrounding your discovery and the closing of the second shadow path and the lair of the undead trolls. All present marvel at your account. When you make mention of the elderly Roman you encounter in the chamber of the shadow path, Gawain's eyes widen, the other man stare at you with their mouths agape. Blue robes, said Gawain, as if to confirm the details you related. The disposal, indeed, the situation is now more grave than ever. Unless I'm mistaken, the man you describe is none other than Nilam. You learn that Nilam is a resident mage of Stonegate, but what Gawain says next reveals the reason the man started the reaction. Nilam is a trusted ally, said Gawain. It was Nilam that I dispatched to Delinus with word of our plight. He was eager to accept the task, and I now fear I have played the fool. Not only does it appear that he is a traitor, but it's safe to say we have been desperately awaiting response to a plea that is never delivered. Gawain is silent for a moment as if contemplating the consequences of this apparent newfound treachery. I don't know what part Nilam has played in this, he says, referring to the undead invasion, but he was certainly not any sort of master mage. I sincerely doubt that he has the ability necessary to effect such that has occurred here. He must be in league with some larger, more adept entity. This is all most unexpected and very troubling. The others are all in agreement, and Gawain advises everyone to put Nilam out of the mind for the moment. We'll find him and deal with him as warranted. He says there are other concerns presently. Gawain turns to you and is about to address you directly with a series of loud shouts rings out from the north and south. They can't be fight. Alice hit with the others, following close behind and sprint in the direction of the frantic cry. My daughter! My daughter! Cries the hysterical father, pointing past the treacherous defences that surround the encampment to his voice. They took her! You attempt to calm him down and find out what had occurred. The panic-stricken man tells you that his daughter, only 4 years old, slipped out of sight and wandered past the defences and out of camp. They grabbed her at the edge of the woods, skeleton. She said, I must go after her. I beg of you. I must. Your father protect her. You tell the man to stay put and turn to Gawain. He simply nods. Without delay, you make your way through the maze of defences and slip into the forest and back on a desperate hunt for the young girl. The forest north of the encampment is crawling with undead. All around you, bands of skeletons, staggering cadavers rove the grovelands. You do your best to avoid being spotted as you dodge through the trees, your eyes scouring every last one of the undead for signs of a young girl. Use woodsmanship. Following the barely discernible trail of disturbed foliage and faint impressions in soft earth, you set off in a trail of missing girl and her captors. The sobs of a child reach your ears as you find your way through the dense thicket of laurel. You emerge from the tangle and find the young girl lying on the ground in the midst of a group of skeletons. She appears to be unharmed, but it's obvious she is terrified. Tatters of leather armor cling to the bones of the skeletons, their hands grip an assortment of rusty weapons. The vicious undead creatures hiss wild as they stare down at the small girl. You charge forward, scattering the skeletons as you launch a surprise attack. You take the girl by the hand and tell her to remain behind you. She follows your instructions and cowers by the base of the tall evergreen and prepare to engage her fleshless captors. The 7 skeletons hiss wildly as they viciously set upon you. They fight with renewed vigor, determined not to let their horrid creatures recapture their intended prey. I fight with renewed. A ghastly world erupts to your right. You find yourself confronted by a horrific undead specimen, staggering ghoul, moans loudly as it moves towards you. Its clawed hands outreached in an attempt to clamber around your throat. Take a step back towards the cowering girl and firmly plant your feet, determined to hold your ground as a new undead horror stalks into the trees towards you. The ghoul drops to the ground and does not move again. You're about to turn and pick the girl up when a rotting, gaunt-faced cadaver staggers into view. Insects burrow in and out of the decaying flesh of the creature's face, and the dark blood drips from the open wounds that riddle its ragged, covered torso. The undead abomination opens her mouth to reveal a set of decayed yellow fangs, of which flicker a disease-forked tongue. With a vicious snarl, the undead abomination leaps forward and attacks. The moment the ghoul's corpse strikes the forest floor, you scoop up the young girl and take flight in the direction of the encampment. Yep, pick her up. You fly through the forest as fast as your legs will allow, while your young child clings to your arms wrapped tightly around your neck. You manage to avoid several groups of undead as you race toward the relative safety of the fortified camp, and as the encampment's outer defences limit to view through the trees ahead, the jubilant cries of the citizens of Stonegate reaches your ears. 2 men rush forward as you near the first line of pikes and take the girl from your arms as they usher you back into the heart of the camp. The father, young girl, now clutching her tightly, thanks you as tears of joy stream down his face. As he departs to have checked over by the healer, Gawain strides up to you and commends you on your daring rescue. I know a hero walks among us, says Gawain, referring to how the encamped citizens of Stonegate have come to view you. Gives them hope, Alison, and so it should, for without you I fear we would have long since abandoned hope altogether. I think y'all have long since been dead because of the y'all were overthrown. Gawain takes you aside and speaks in a hushed tone, cannot speak overheard. The news of Nilam's treachery is a blow that caught me off guard, he confides. Until you spoke of your encounter with him in the cave, I had no reason to doubt his loyalty. I've thought carefully of the matter, and I believe our next course of action must be to find out what we can about his involvement in all this. It may well lead us to the last source of this scourge. Gawain tells you that the next step should be for you to return and investigate Nilam's residence in the old arch tower that crowns a small hill on the western edge of town. If you agree with this assessment, tell him that you will set out at once. For the first time since you became involved in the matter, you feel as if you may finally be moving one step closer to shedding some light on the shadow of evil hanging over Stone Gate. Maybe he's bewitched, because the main creature that we fight. Hold on, someone's calling me. Okay, so I can't end this call, so I'm gonna end this episode, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Now I'm gonna say peace.